From the county and state fairs to the big city pari-mutuel tracks, millions of people enjoy standardbred racing in Illinois. The glamour and excitement of the on-track action are just the surface. For harness racing in Illinois is generations deep, a family sport rooted in man's centuries-long love affair with the horse as an equine athlete. Bob Ward typifies the commitment of many to the Illinois standardbred. Now a member of the Illinois Racing Board, his family has raised and raced trotters for 3 generations. And among his fondest memories is sitting on the back of the immortal Greyhound as a boy. More than most, Bob Ward speaks for the history and tradition of the sport in Illinois.
I'm a 3rd generation into the standardbred industry. My grandfather came to the state of Illinois in 1919. My grandfather was the founder of the Illinois Colt Stakes as we know them today. My uncle operated pari-mutuel tracks, Maywood and Aurora. My father was an amateur trainer, so it's a kind of a natural thing to be the 3rd generation.
Harness driver Dave McGee is the new generation, a professional of uncanny skills. In his own quiet and self-effacing way, he has gone about rewriting the record books at the major harness meetings at Sportsman's Park, Hawthorne Racecourse, and Maywood, the big city tracks. Yet despite his success, his public time in the limelight, Dave McGee is a quiet man, a family man, who values his time with his wife and children above all else, and who has designed his world around them.
My wife, Deanne, is my biggest supporter, and there's no way I could have accomplished what I have without her. Matthew is a great little boy. I love him very much. He's a lot like his mother. He's very sharp. He loves the horses. I think that may have been his first word, horsey. You put him on a horse and he just giggles and plays and he just loves animals. I'm not sure, but I would say that he'd probably become involved in the business.
Dave McGee and Bob Ward, the world of standardbred racing in Illinois. We begin on the farm.
Farm is a place of serenity, a place, of course, if you like horses, that you'd like to be. There's nothing prettier than a field of broodmares and their offspring. There's nothing prettier than baby colts. They're lost, scared. They don't know what's going on. The yearlings are the same way. They're all looking for a friend, that's all. To break a colt, it's kindness, it's understanding, it's gentleness, it's acquiring his confidence so that he understands. Most people get into the business by buying a horse that's beginning his training. And then if they have success and they have the place for the mare, that's the next adjunct, is sometimes not to sell a mare that raced good for them. Keep her as a family retainer and breeder and race her offspring. I would say generally the people who get into the business are getting into it for the rewards of owning a horse, watching their horse race, with not the thought of a profit at the end of it as much as a reward they get from
it. Yeah, I'll game up a little better tomorrow.
Well, I've been around the horse racing all my life. Originally at the county fair level in Wisconsin. My grandfather introduced the sport into the family probably 30, 40 years ago. I think I trained my first horse when I was about 12 for him, and he quickly inducted me into a steady trainer for him after that. I love animals in general, and horses are a big animal that you can work with, and I don't know if it gives me a feeling of authority or power or what, but I feel as though I can get along good with animals, and I prove it through horses, I guess. I don't know.
What'd you take, 3 reps over there?
Right. Well, when I learned the business and learned how to handle a horse, I kept putting myself in the horse's place. And I often wondered what it felt like to have a piece of steel running through your mouth with someone at the back hanging on. And it made sense to me to be as gentle as you could.
Yeah. Good enough.
Well, at the state fair, everyone's here racing colt stakes and pretty much for a good time and prestige. All the owners are here to watch their colts race.
Good luck, honey.
Good luck, Dave. Hope you win it.
Well, the standardbred was a mode of transportation in years past. That was the beginning of it all. And that's the reason why stamina was necessary. So this is in the animal, his breeding. A trot is a diagonal gait. It's best described that the left forefront goes forward and the right rear foot goes forward at the same time, and the opposite side the next step. A pacing gait is a diagonal gait which both legs on each side operate in unison, similar to a railroad engine. The left 2 legs go forward and then the right 2 legs go forward. It's a swinging gait. They wear today hobbles, which remind them to stay on that gait at great speed. The standardbred as an athlete, an equine athlete, needs to warm up. Each trainer has a different theory on how he does it. So basically he goes about 3 miles to 4 miles before he races his horse. And the first mile that he goes, or the first mile and a half that he goes, generally is at a jog rate. It's just merely to loosen up. And some horses don't need any more than that. If you're in horse racing and if you truly love it, I don't care where I win. I just like to win. A win is a win is a win. Let's win first. Worry about the purse later.
John, I think you'll be ready for Springfield now.
That's good. We want to get in some of that Illinois Colt Stakes money tomorrow.
That's for sure. I'm sure he's ready to go down.
Sound seems all right?
Sound and tip-top, ready to go. Let's ship into Springfield tomorrow.
The tremendous incentive program for the Illinois Standardbred culminates in major stakes races at the Illinois State Fair in Springfield in August. The State Fair is an integral part of the world of the Illinois Standardbred.
In recognition of the contribution that the horse racing industry makes to the state of Illinois, it's entirely appropriate that this day, the first ever, be designated as Horse Racing Day at the Illinois State Fair. And also, in recognition of that, you have been invited to view the horse racing program this day free to you. Free grandstand, the first time that has ever happened. Thank you.
This is from the Illinois Department of Agriculture. To all who shall see this presentation, greetings. Mr. Robert Ward from Decatur represents the Illinois Racing Board on the Standardbred Breeders' Fund program.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
For me, it's a lot more difficult to race at the fairs because you don't know what to expect from the horses, you don't know what to expect from the drivers. Well, I usually prepare as far as strategy somewhat before the race. I have an idea of what I might do if certain situations arise, and that takes some of the pressure or relieves some of the pressure on my mind. And then when I get on the bike, I get a little nervous and start going over in my mind what I want to do if one thing happens or another. So I'm constantly thinking of situations that might occur and what I might do, and try to prepare for what might happen ahead of time.
Yeah, we got it.
All right. Good race, Dave. Yeah, thank you.
County, or state fair racing, is as different as night and day from the big city tracks, which sport elaborate plants, race 6 nights a week, and have legalized betting with direct revenue to the state of Illinois of tens of millions of dollars. Billy Johnson Jr. owns and operates the prestigious summer meet at Sportsman's Park, where some of the best harness racing in the world is showcased. Billy's a standardbred man, and possibly the most influential figure in Chicago harness racing history.
Sportsman's is, of course, the action and the bright lights and the excitement of the city. It's, I think, the best example in the country of nighttime harness racing. Sportsman's Park is like a city. There's restaurants, there's people living in the backstretch, there's the cross-section of the whole society comes to Sportsman's Park and mingle and bet, which is what parimutuel is, among themselves, and it's all, everybody's on an equal plane when they go up to that mutual window.
Well, Sportsman's Park, everything is laid out on paper. I mean, you can read the lines of the horses, you can prepare for you can study every horse and know what they're capable of. It's a lot easier to prepare for a race. At Sportsman's Park, people are there making a living. It's a lot more businesslike. Well, the Orange and Blue is a prestigious race. It's a big money race, and it's a big 2-year-old race, and it'd be very nice to win. I guess mostly for the prestigious point of it. Any kind of race that you win is a great reward, whether it be a small purse or a Orange and Blue. And when you start, you just hopefully want to work, or my goal was to work up toward an Orange and Blue or something of that nature. It takes a lot of patience, nerves. Have kind of nerves of steel, I would say, because crowd tends to get on you all the time, or, you know, people are yelling and screaming. And all the time I'm out there scoring down, I'm watching how the other guys are scoring their horses down to get an idea of who might be leaving out of there to go to the front, or leaving out for position, or who might be keeping their horses quiet to take them back at the beginning and come on later. And then as we go to the gate, I'll watch how the horses approach the gate and how the drivers are sitting to try and determine what their moves are going to be. You're always trying to get a little jump on the guy in front of you or behind you. And as they say go, you watch. You have your horse kind of prepared to either leave or sit back, and you watch to see what the other guys are doing and kind of fit yourself into the situation, and then you just kind of comes natural after that. You look for things to happen and kind of have a move in mind for when a situation begins to occur. And you only have split seconds to decide. You can't be thinking about it while you're doing it, so you have to be prepared to make a move or make a decision ahead of time. You listen, keep your ears open, and occasionally take a glance and peripheral vision. But basically, you try to hear what's going on behind you. I'm at a loss for words. I'm very excited. I've been excited for 2 weeks and nervous and keyed up, and it's just a relief to have it over, and it's just unbelievable that she won. I would have been happy with a fifth. The purse was $164,000, so she came out of the race with $82,000. And my partner and I are very happy about that, along with our families. I've speculated somewhat as to what I do with the money, but I hate to do that because I didn't want to get my hopes up. But we hope to pay off some of the mortgage on our home and just keep racing. Maybe take a little time off now that we can afford it. This will help us coast through the winter, I'm sure.